What is the most extreme misuse of an everyday item you have ever witnessed? Using a microwave to dry a smartphone. After running said smartphone under tap water to clean it, this was like 7 years ago. I don't think the phone was waterproof. Person who did this was good academically but had no common sense whatsoever. It baffled me. My friend's kid decided to make a grilled cheese sandwich with an iron on the couch. Burned a nice iron-shaped hole in the couch. Kid was 15 at the time. In college and living in the dorms. My roommate and I had an iron specifically for grilled cheese. No burnt couches though. Roommates in college used laundry pods in the dishwasher for like a week. I handwashed my dishes. So it did not affect me. They only noticed because I asked why they always left their laundry pods on the kitchen counter. I will admit I did this for a short time. I was student teaching and insanely busy between school and my university work. I grabbed the pods thinking they were dishwasher pods. I used them a few times and each time there was foam leaking from the dishwasher. Me, being dumb, exhausted and overwhelmed, thought there was something wrong with the dishwasher. Maintenance guy came. Said it was fine. I felt like the biggest moron ever when I went to do the next load and read the package, laundry pods. I got some actual dishwasher once and never had another issue with leaking foam. My high school Spanish teacher would use her computer's disk tray as a shelf for her coffee mug. If her computer was anything like the ancient things my school makes me do lesson plans on. She was probably just praying every day that the coffee would accidentally spill. Walked into my sister's room and she had maxi pads laying everywhere with Barbies on top. She's like, "Look at all these Barbie sleeping bags I found." Saw a woman using an Oyster card. It's a London bus pass the same size and material as a credit card, as a sort of spoon to eat a lasagna out of a Tupperware on the bus. My adult brother-in-law once used steel wool to scrub his parents' oak dining table. That still floors me after like a decade. Has he ever had to do a cleanup chore at a family gathering after that? It's the long con. If you screw up so bad, people react in horror once they never ask for help again. We had a housemate who used to get home very drunk and try and cook himself elaborate meals, which always resulted in a lot of mess and noise. To combat this, I turned the oven and electrical sockets in the kitchen off when he went out one night. Foolproof. The fool cooked himself steak in the living room with our clothes iron at 3 a.m. You made the mistake of not counting on him being a better fool than you were a fool-proofer. That's akin to the engineering adage that states every time you try to make something idiot-proof, the world creates a better idiot. Using my fabric shears to cut wire and plastic packaging. And now he's mad that my new fabric shears have a padlock through the handles. I used to work at a golf course doing lawn maintenance. We had a fella on our crew that was older and well, not the brightest. He was kind of a loner, so we just let him be most of the time. One day, I saw our guy mowing some large berms with one of our push mowers. To save time, I guess, he left the mower running, then picked it up to put in the back of the truck. He still had all his fingers, but the truck tailgate took a good hit. Using a microwave to dry clothes. There were flames. This was a story that a colleague told me that happened on the day I was off back in the day I used to work for a hotel. Apparently some Chinese guests came to reception to complain that the microwave wasn't working. We didn't have microwaves in the room. So when coming to inspect the problem, she found out that they were trying to microwave a pizza in the room's safe. Used to work in a hotel as well. Several times we had Asian guests hang their clothes to dry from the fire sprinklers hanging from their room ceilings. This sets the sprinklers off and caused thousands of dollars of damage to multiple rooms each time it happened. One family was mad at us and wanted compensation for all their wet clothes and electronics. Maybe not applicable here. But we also had a foreign guest call 911 because they were out of tea bags in their room. I didn't witness this, but I read it in a newspaper article a few years ago. It was this article about life hacks and such. And basically what happened was, there was this hack going around about how, if you put your toaster on its side, slide in 2 slices of bread with cheese on top and toast them. You get toast and grilled cheese all at once. Apparently. This lady tried it and the melting cheese set her toaster on fire. The whole thing went up and nearly burned her entire house down. And then when the toaster pops, it sneezes flaming cheese all over the room? I used to live 2 doors down from the neighborhood's crazy lady, and she would often vacuum her grass after it was mowed. I did not witness it, but my grandma had used a vibrator as a massaging stick for her back pain because the box had stated, "massage stick." The way we found out was hilarious though. When we visits her one day, she started telling how she went to the shop where she bought her massage stick and asked the boy to change the batteries. She did not understand why the boy had refused and why he acted weird. Then she asked my mom if she could change the batteries and gave my mom the vibrator. I still feel sorry for the kid behind the counter at the shop. Haha. My grandmother, many years ago, gave me a massage stick for Christmas. She didn't know what it was. My mother took it away from me. Cop here. I've seen several people using the portable air pumps that come with air mattresses to blow into their DWI ignition interlock to start their cars and keep them running. Sorta general, but the whole using hot peppers, cinnamon, glue to embiggen lips thing. There's a TikTok going about with a girl using lash glue to glue her upper lip to her skin to make it hotter, plumper, and I think it's not long until superglue is used for the same purpose. But I mean, it's not like emergency rooms have anything better to do, so. Not extreme. But 2 of our graphic design juniors using caps lock for a single capital letter. I had never seen anyone do this, and they both joined within a space of a month. We'll never understand how or why they can work like that. I raise you a colleague who filled her computer desktop up with files, many of which appeared to be notes. Seeing it was full, she stopped using the machine and instead converted the laptop, still on, lit, full screen of icon overload visible, to a board for physical post-it notes. Layers and layers of them. My wife routinely uses butter knives as flat screwdrivers. I once caught her using an ice cream scoop as a hammer. We've talked about it. I bought her tools. Now she keeps an old shish thai butter knife in the back of the drawer for fast, easy battery changes and uses a hammer as a hammer. My mom has one of these all-purpose butter knives too. I think it's kind of endearing. She used to keep it in with the regular silverware, but at some point after we last moved I noticed it's been relegated to the junk drawer where she keeps her hammer and other odds and ends. My roommate once poured hummus into a pot of marinara sauce. He's also mixed together a bunch of different types of barbecue sauce and left them out for days. Then he ate it and tried to get the rest of us to eat it. That's how making food was figured out in the first place. Trial and error. Your friend just is a bit uncultured. Even Neolithic. I use the little toilets in family restrooms because they work just like a squatty potty. I always pray that the lock doesn't malfunction. 'Cause I am not sure how I will explain what's happening. Not really an everyday thing unless you're a tradesman. But I've seen way too many people try to pound screws in with a hammer, when all you've got is a hammer. Everything is a nail. Rule 1, always use the right tool. Rule 2, a hammer is always the right tool. Rule 3, anything can be used as a hammer. We weren't allowed hot plates or microwaves in the college dorms. So one of the girls on my floor cooked bacon with a hair straightener. We had microwaves, but no stove in our dorms. One of my floormates ended up putting ramen seasoning in a Gatorade bottle and then microwaving that. A friend of mine was a first-generation migrant to my country and her parents had a dishwasher in their house. But due to never having had one in their home country, saw it as a wasteful appliance to use. So they stored clean pots and pans in it. Just like another cabinet. This is extremely common in, especially Asian, immigrant communities. Even if they know how to use the dishwasher. Our parents consider it wasteful when you can just wash by hand. My brother once used a brick chisel to cut brownies. My parents were redoing the kitchen and left it out on top of a paint bucket or something. Guess he thought it was a spatula? I was doing an internship in a small office and the engineer, yeah he is engineer, needed to take out the trash from the trash bin. It had a plastic bag with the trash. He opened a new plastic bag. I thought it was to replace the old full one and asked my help to hold it while he threw all the trash from the bin to the new plastic bag instead of just take the trash from the old plastic bag and replace for the new one. I was so confused. When was the last time you put gloves inside the gloves box of your car? Girlfriend's brother using my $125 chef's knife to chop ice. I did make a scene. Got rid of both. Barbarians. I once witnessed a colleague of mine, in a restaurant kitchen, try to cut very frozen meat with a chef's knife. Directly on a metal counter. I cringed real hard. When I was a kid, my mother used a pasta spoon to clean the cat litter box. I thought this was normal because it was the only way I'd ever seen it used. Then, years after our cat died, I was eating dinner at a friend's house when the mom grabbed the same kind of utensil to serve spaghetti. I freaked the F out and shouted, "Why are you serving food with a poop scoop?" They were so confused and I couldn't eat my dinner because I was so disturbed. I had an extreme itch in my ear and no Q-tip. The closest small object that would fit in my ear was a screwdriver. So I used it. I ended up cutting my eardrum and had to go to the doctor. I can't say I regret it though. It was satisfying to finally get rid of the itch. I screamed as soon as you said screwdriver. Anyways, look for a product called Cleanair. They are even better than Q-tips for cleaning or scratching your ears.